All right. We have Jeremiah Pope. This will be a short one. He is he's a flat earther, I believe. Buddies with Flatzoid. So
So, this is a response to Awesome Dude's claim of gravity. So, I'm going to.
I've tried to look for Awesome Dude's channel and I can't find it. Hey George, can't find Awesome Dude's channel. They Nobody links to his videos or his channel when they review his stuff. Right? There's no link here. And Flatzoid didn't link to him when he debated him on his channel. So I don't know. Hey Westside.
show why he's using a false example for gravity, which was derived by Newton, of course. And in Newton's biography, right, we learn about the apple. So this is the apple story, right? So after dinner, the weather being warm, we went into the garden and drank tea under the shade of the apple trees. He told me he was just in the same situation, and when formally the notion of gravitation came into his mind, it was occasioned by the fall of an apple as he sat in a contemplative mood. Why should that apple always descend perpendicularly to the ground? Thought he thought to himself. So
Thought he to himself, Jesus Christ, man. So this is about why gravity isn't real. Hey Stanley.
this is a story, right? And of course, we're going to get into why this is false. I don't understand why Newton didn't logically deduce that each of the chambers contain one or two seeds in the apple. So
What? What?
an apple is a part of the tree's reproductive system.
Yeah. My my dick's part of my reproductive system, but it don't always point down.
Um, so its downwards vector is determined by its organic function.
No, the downward vector is determined by gravity, by the accelerative force of gravity downward toward the center of the Earth. What are you fucking talking about? So let's see. Downward vector is determined by its organic function. Well, let's see. This is the top of the apple down here. So how could this be down? You ever see an apple hang on a tree? You know what it hangs by? This thing here is sticking out of it, and it hangs down. So you need to flip this over.
So the organic function of the apple is part of its reproductive system. I don't know if Newton just didn't eat into the apple and see that. Um,
Oh no, nobody ever knew that there were seeds in a fucking apple until you came along.
so I mean, it's not just an object. So he's treating an apple as if it's just a piece of metal or
No, or an apple or an object, that falls.
something. Um,
So do organic things fall in a different direction than inorganic things? Like if I take a rock, piece of granite, will it fall in a different direction than an organic thing like an apple? I think I mean he's that's what he's hinting at, right?
so another example, uh, he also didn't logically deduce that reproduction favors an upward vector for mammals.
Wait, what? Reproduction favors an upward vector for mammals. Huh, that's weird. So why don't we float?
Most mammals and reptiles on the planet are quadruped. I can't pronounce
Pedal?
that. Quadrupedous.
Pedal?
They walk on four legs or two legs. Um, you know, not all of them walk completely upright. However,
Most mammals walk upright. Well, quadrupeds don't. We're not a quadruped.
the reproduction favors these vectors. So that means that the seed, right, goes in these directions for reproduction. So it doesn't go down in a downwards vector like this for the apple. And I'm just talking about the seed itself, not
Okay, what does this have to do with gravity?
the direction that the blossom goes in. So it's just the seed itself travels in these vectors for its reproduction system. These are actual objects in reality.
Really? An apple is an actual object in reality? Huh, okay. I'm trying to figure this guy out. I really am.
So you might be thinking, right, what about like these non-organic objects like rocks
Yeah,
or
what
like
about
the
those?
balls of metal, right,
Where are their seeds?
in a vacuum? I mean, he cited some study about two balls being dropped. Well, we can take an example of gold, right? So gold is a non-organic material, but throughout the history of the planet, um, miners have extracted, I found this out, 201,000 tons of gold, and there's only about 53,000 tons left. This is true. I grew up near the mountains, and it was said that this is in Colorado, for example, all of the gold in the rivers, most of it's been mined out already, and inside of the mountains, most of it's been mined out of the surface. So this non-organic material has a preferred vector of up.
Why? What? So gold floats? Gold, it doesn't have any weight to it? It won't, if I take a gold ring and drop it, it won't hit the ground?
So how can that be, right? Well, it's determined by an organic vector. So an organism is determining its vector, even though it's supposed to have been
Does this guy know what a vector is? I don't think he knows what a vector is.
going down in a downwards vector because of the supposed um, gravity and density of the Earth. So if the Earth is dense, all the material is supposed to be going towards the center of density, the center of the Earth. However, its actual vector in real life over the course of hundreds of years in our history that we know is actually in an upwards vector from the Earth to the surface and carried around by organic beings. Another
What is he fucking talking about?
example, right, would be like the rock falling off. So how can one argue that's an organic vector, right? But if you look, it's called
What is an organic vector? What the fuck is that?
weathering. So this right here, this is called weathering. So when a rock breaks off of a mountain and falls, right? So it's falling in a downwards vector. However,
Everything falls in a downwards vector. It doesn't matter, dude. Fucking rocks, grapes, apples, crossbows, fucking cats. It doesn't matter. What the fuck are you talking about? What the hell is this guy talking about?
water is causing this. So water is an organic material. So it's synonymous with life itself. Yes, it has its own chemical compound, um, and you can't say that that's the non-organic material because my blood, right? We all have blood. That's an organic material. That's only found in organisms. So water is an organic material. It's synonymous with life itself. If it's not right, then why are we looking for it on other planets? So we know that life.
So we know that we might be able to live there easier. If there's already organic life, it means the planet can support life, and we might have a chance of populating that planet.
Life and water
And also, it's fucking huge.
go hand in hand, and that's why they're looking for it elsewhere. So this is what water does as an organic function. Water enters a crack in a rock. Water freezes and expands, widening the crack. Ice melts, water goes deeper into the crack, and then the process repeats, the rock splits.
That's not an organic function. That's a function of physics, of the expansion of water when freezing.
So the water enters, so it could be pipes in your house, it could be anywhere. It freezes in the winter if it's still there. Then it expands and it will break open a material like rocks. It's that powerful. So this here, right? The reason why all of the snow is there is because the clouds, right? It rains, okay, but because it's cold, it freezes when it hits, but the
So all the snow's there because it rains. No, snow doesn't come from rain clouds.
water is still able to go inside of the rock. So over time, okay, the water will expand and it will cause this to happen. Okay. And this can also cause, avalanches, things like this. So this is just a short um, hit on gravity. It's to me, it's an organic uh, function, right? So we see organic things happening.
And what about brass? What about a solid block of brass that doesn't have any water that can get into it? It's non-organic. What about that? Does it fall? Fuck me. This guy's dumb. I think we found someone dumber than Flatzoid.
And we're thinking that it's just this thing called gravity, right? But really,
Yes, been tested, been verified, been quantified. We use it in practical use.
most things are organic and it's causing these vectors to occur. So this whole notion that it's just some kind of force coming from nowhere is just silly.
Doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from the earth.
I don't know how Newton didn't logically deduce, right, that this was true. I mean, maybe he did, and he's just, I don't know, wanted to come up with something new, I guess. But you can take a look at this stuff for yourself, man. It's called weathering. Um, Objects, not just gold, but other materials that we know, it just travels in an upwards vector. Um, so, yeah,
But things don't travel in an upward vector. They fall, dude. What the fuck are you talking about?
just this is why, this whole gravity thing is just not even true. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Wow. And Flatzoid in the comments section wrote, "Hey man, thanks. Thanks. Just subbed and shared. You rocked." And he wrote back, "Thanks. I'm not as good as you at making videos yet, so I hope to aspire one day." Does not make sense as a sentence. This guy's an idiot. This guy has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. So he says organic things fall because they have an upward vector, and non organic things fall because water got into them and gives them an upward vector. So that's why the vector of is down because they have an upward vector. But only if they're organic or they like organic things. Oh, and people too. Wait, and rocks metal that doesn't have any water in it. And seeds? What the fuck? Oh my God. Was this kid coming off like coming down from mental or dental surgery? Was this whole thing written on like sodium pentothal? I don't think I've seen a dumber video. And I think we finally found someone dumber than Flatzoid. Wow. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. And as always, be seeing you.